Today we are going to be talking about greatest common factor. So the greatest common factor is the greatest or the largest number that is a factor of two or more numbers. It is also known as the GCF. That is what you will hear us referring to it as throughout the year. For this lesson, you should have this factor chart out with you to help you. Basically, all of your answers are here. This is going to really help you in the process of finding the greatest common factor. So the steps. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to use that chart to list out the factors of each number. So if we were looking for the GCF of 12 and 16, we'd list out all of the factors of 12 and all of the factors of 16. Second thing we do is we circle the common factors. So we circled they share 1, they share 2, and they share 4. And then step 3, the greatest number that you circled, which in this case was 4, is our greatest common factor. And that's your answer. So let's look at an example. We're going to find the GCF of 24 and 30. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to rewrite them on the lines here, and I'm going to grab my factor chart. So eventually, if you get to the point where you can look at these two numbers and you know what the greatest common factor is right away, awesome. That's really going to be helpful when we're simplifying ratios and when we get to fractions. But right now, we want you using this chart to make sure that you're not missing anything or making any mistakes. So I'm going to find 24 on my factor chart. I see it over here. I'm going to list out these numbers in the box with 24 in order from least to greatest. So 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of people then want to write 24, but it kind of loops around this way because I want to keep it from least to greatest. So 6, 8, 12, 24. Now we're going to do the same thing for 30, so I'm going to find 30 on here. I see it down here, so I'm going to list those out here. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, and 30. All right, so now that we've listed out all the factors, we're going to go through and circle the ones that they have in common. So they both have 1, they both have 2, they both have 3, not 4, they both have 6, not 8, not 12, not 24. So the largest number that they both shared, which in this case was 6, is going to be the GCF. All right, for example 2, we are going to find the GCF of 20 and 30. So again, first step, I'm going to rewrite them down here and then grab my factor chart. So we're looking for 20 on the factor chart, which I see right here. I'm going to list those numbers here. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. Then I'm going to find 30, which is down here, and I'm listing these here. 1, 2, sorry, not 30, 33 is what I meant to write. So 33 is down here. 1, 3, 11, and 33. I'm going to rewrite that up here because it's kind of hard to see. So it was 20 and 33 that we were comparing. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to circle what they have in common. So they both have 1, not 2, not 4, not 5, not 10, not 20. So the only number that they share is 1. Sometimes when this happens, people want to say they don't share anything. That's not true. The answer is not none. They share 1. That is their greatest common factor. So no matter what, if there's no other numbers that they have in common, you're always going to go to the answer of 1. All right, number 3. The GCF of 14 and 56. So again, listing out my numbers, I'm going to find them on my chart here. So for 14 is right here. I'm going to list out 1, 2, 7, and 14. 56 is going to be on the back of my factor chart. I see it right here. listing those out. 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 14, 28, and 56. So we're going to go through and circle what they have in common. They both have 1. They both have 2. They both have 7. A lot of times people stop here and they think, oh, 7 is what it's going to be. Or even if they're just looking at these two numbers, right away they think 7 is the greatest common factor. It is a common factor, but if you keep going, you'll see that 14 is another common factor, and that is the greatest common factor. So that's why it's always nice to double check on this chart, even if you think you can do it in your head, to make sure you're not actually missing what the greatest common factor is. All right, number 4, 98 and 80. So I'm going to get my chart, find 98, which is right here. So 1, 2, 7, 14, 49, and 98. And then same thing with 80, which is over here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, 16, 20, 40, and 80. So now we're going to go through, circle what they share. They share 1, they share 2, not 7, not 14, not 49, and not 98. So the largest number, the greatest number that they both share is 2. Which, anytime you have even numbers, you should know that they always share 2, because all even numbers divide by 2. All right, the last one we're going to do before the you try is just slightly different, because we're going to be looking at 3 numbers instead of 2. So the 3 numbers that we're going to be looking at is 48, 36, and 60. So I'm going to write those out here, 48, 36, 60. So grabbing my factor chart, finding 48, which is right here, listing out those numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 24, and 48. Same thing for 36. I'm going to scroll up here. 36, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 36. And then 60 is on the back. For 60, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's got a lot, 10, 12, 15, 20, 30, and 60. So the process is almost identical. The only difference is that when we are circling the common factors, all 3 numbers have to have that as a factor. So 1 is shared by all 3. 2 is shared by all 3. 3 is shared by all 3. 4, 6 as well. 8, we don't have an 8 there, so that's not going to work. 12, we have 12 in all 3 of them. 16, we don't have one here. 24, we don't have one here. 48, we don't have one here. So the highest number that all 3 of them share is 12, and that is your greatest common factor. All right, for the you try, find the greatest common factor of 54 and 36.